Cab driver rips me to shreds, thinking I can't understand him, but I can. Obligatory. This happened several years ago, a few months after I had moved to Chicago. I had moved there from Romania, where I'd been living and going to school. Love Romania. People are great. Drop what you're doing and visit. Anyway, while I was there, due to my living situation, I had to learn the language fast and thoroughly. Not many people around me spoke English, outside of the uni I was at. So fast forward to the few months after I arrived in Chicago. Imagine my surprise when the driver of the Uber I had ordered appeared to have a Romanian name. The area had a lot of Eastern Europeans, so I guess it shouldn't have been so surprising. I was really excited to talk to him and make sure I wasn't getting rusty. Maybe make a friend. Up pulls the guy. I get in. He greets me, but he appears to be on the phone with a buddy/family member, so I just sit quietly in the back, listening in a bit. The person on the other end asks if the driver is getting off work soon. He responded with something like the following: "No, I still have a few hours left. Then I'll go home. Right now I have someone in the car. God, I hate this country. The women here are so fat and ugly. At least this one has a nice chest, but why can't she lose some weight?" And he goes on and on about all the problems with me and other American women. Now, I've always been a bit on the chonky side, and you best believe the Romanians love to comment on it, so I was used to it. But I was a bit shocked that this guy was going off like that. Anyway, I'm just kinda sitting bemused in the back seat as we near my destination. Then I tell him, in Romanian, with all my might trying to pull off the distinct accent of the region I had been living in, "Can you just pull over there, on the right?" I swear this guy's head did the Exorcist girl's head move, and he turned a shade of red I have seen nowhere else in nature. He didn't say anything, just pulled over. When I got out I said thanks and added, "You're not attractive and you're also fat, so maybe you shouldn't make comments like that." I have never again reached such levels of self-pride. I'm about to lose my whole family because I am a vindictive old cow. My sister is 13 years younger than me, and when she was 19, my then-husband cheated on me with her. When I caught them, my sister said that they were in love. When she heard that I have filed for divorce the next Monday, she dumped him. I refunded to talk to her. Everyone sided with her because she was young and he manipulated her. The thing is, I wasn't angry or blamed her. I was just done with her. I don't even remember having any resentment towards her. She was just a stranger who pretended to be in love with someone because it caused me pain. But seeing my family choosing her, making excuses, broke my heart. For 10 years now I haven't spoken to her or seen her. I am happily married and we have 2 toddlers. She has tried to reach out several times, but I blocked her. She started sending flirtatious DMs to my husband. I don't know why, but I asked him not to tell anyone, but not to block her either. Maybe I was afraid of my family choosing her again and finding excuses. She is getting married now. My family is trying to force me to attend. I know this will be the end if I refuse. I know they will all cut contact with me. Maybe it is as well. I fantasize about printing all her DMs to my husband, the latest not even 3 months ago, and make a speech at her wedding with them. I will never do that. Sometimes I fantasize about sharing her DMs here on Reddit anonymously on one of those subs for deranged DMs, but I will never have the guts. I think it is time for me to accept that my husband and my children are my family, that my family's picture of me is not how I perceive myself, and that it is okay. The infrastructure guy quit. We are a small DevOps team in a very fast-paced mid-sized startup. We run and maintain several on-site bare metal Kubernetes clusters, but we fully depend on our infrastructure team to set up the physical servers, build the racks, and set up and manage the entire network. But the team is just one guy who takes care of everything. Literally no one else at the company truly knows how it's all set up. Attempts to start some knowledge transfer have never gotten too far. This situation has persisted for a long time, and his direct manager has not hired a second person for the team. Well, now the totally unexpected and unforeseeable thing has happened, edit/s, and the guy put in his notice, 2 months, we're in Europe. Since then they have managed to find a new person for the position, but I still expect that management will try to push some of his agenda onto us. However, none of us have the required advanced networking and sysadmin knowledge that's required. We are a very small team and are already overloaded to the point that simple features take months to deliver due to high operational pressure, us being constantly interrupted by requests from other teams and other high-priority work. I know that there are IAC tools for hardware and network administration, but we just don't have the capacity to take on and be fully responsible for setting up all this hardware and be responsible for its reliable operation. The transition period for the new guy will be very short, and I'm afraid that the entire infrastructure will be at risk of falling apart. Have you experienced a similar situation? I would greatly appreciate any suggestions for how to proceed, both as an individual and as the team. I got fired today. So it finally happened. I knew it was coming, but are you ever truly prepared? I've been working for this company for over a year and have had 4 managers. The last one is by far the worst manager I have ever had. She is phony, an ass kisser, and terrible at her job. From the minute she started, she had it out for me. Not to sound immodest, but I think that is because I have been in this field a lot longer than her and have a lot more knowledge/experience. She picked apart my work and gave me several warnings that were complete bullshit. For example, I wrote a document that was over 100 pages. Rather than give me any sort of positive feedback, she found that one of the bullet points was off by 1 point. She wrote me up for this. I have been extremely stressed and anxious, and have had to start therapy and increase my meds. It has gotten to the point where even the mention of her makes my chest hurt. I got an invitation today for a meeting with HR. We all know what that means. I was asked to give my perspective, and boy did I. I told her she was the absolute worst manager I have ever had, and I feel sorry for anyone who works for her in the future. She tried to talk, and I cut her off and told her that I will no longer listen to her condescending, belittling, talking down to me. Of course, in the end, this did me no good. I just hoped that I was able to upset her at least a little bit. Now I am faced with losing my insurance and not being able to pay my bills. I am so angry that I cannot stop crying. While it is a relief to not deal with her ever again, I am feeling so depressed and worried. Has anyone else been in this situation? How did you handle it? It makes me feel good when my ex texts me. My ex cheated on me with someone else for 3 months. We were living together, broke up, and I left and found my own place. Been in therapy, trying to focus on myself, doing things that make me happy, slowly trying to get back in the dating world. I know I should just block them from all contact, but it feels good when they reach out. Makes me think they are in pain and miss me. They caused me so much pain and I'm still hurt about it. How someone could do something so selfish, so disrespectful. It was calculated, intentional, deceitful, not just a one-time fuck up. I want them to be in pain. It's usually a text about something only I would understand, like an inside joke, or something about the house we used to live in together. I make them wait an hour, sometimes 2 hours before responding. I make my response seem friendly, sometimes even funny. They usually reply back within minutes. I never ask any questions back. I think she wants me to. Am I being cruel with this behavior, or is she just getting the FAFO treatment? Coworker tried to frame us in an Amazon return/refund scam for $5,000. My roommate and I work in the same company, different teams. We are friends with this coworker, let's call her HV. My roommate and I share all the subscriptions. I pay for few and she pays for few. HV asked my roomie our Prime account details in the first week of NOV, saying that she is going to India, her home country, to buy gifts for her family. So my roomie shared the details with her, and in the second week she placed an order for 4 items which came out to $5,100. She asked us if she can place the order to our house, since her apartment is not secure. We didn't say anything to that, but we know how frugal she was, since she doesn't even take a cab for $10 no matter how bad the weather is. She always asks someone to drop her off or chooses to ride the bus for hours. So we said you could have waited for Thanksgiving, these might go on sale. She then replied saying those are for her brothers and cousins and they will pay her back. November 15th we received the order at our house. She asked us to take her home after the shift ends and also asked us to drop her back at her apartment. This pissed me off, and then I replied, I will bring them to work tomorrow and you can take these home with you. We gave her the boxes and we asked her if she got all the items, and she replied all of them are good and she's figuring out how to pack them for trip, which is on December 12th. On November 16th, we are unable to log into the Amazon Prime and the email has been changed to a random to the mail, so we asked her calling why did this change, and then she replied saying she was trying to get rid of the two-factor authentication because every time we log in to order more gifts, it's sending a notification to you. This started to annoy both of us, and then she called saying she's having some issues at home that their parents are not allowing to marry her lover since he's not from the same religion or caste, whatever, and then their whole family started hating her for that reason. This sad story went on for days, and then came in the Thanksgiving holidays. Meanwhile, on November 25th, I have changed the email back, and then she never reached out to us regarding the Amazon login credentials again. Then on December 2nd, we received an email saying that to submit an ID to validate the account. Again, we texted her saying, "What is this about?" Then she replied that she don't want to go to India and she canceled her plan. So she returned the products through UPS already. Then we opened the Amazon, and since we haven't got any notifications regarding the returns, we asked her if she initiated the returns for that. She replied, "No, I dropped all of these at UPS by generating the return label in the UPS store." This raised a red flag since there is nothing in the account saying the products are being returned. But she said that since she has returned these products of high value, Amazon is asking for ID. Then my roomie sent her the license to validate. On December 5th, my roomie received an email again asking for ID. At this point, we are 90% sure something is wrong and asked HV whether she packaged them well. For that she replied yes, and this is last time the Amazon will ever email. On December 6th, we got a call from her saying that she is going to India since her father is in ICU. We were discussing how weird her explanations are, then we came to a conclusion that HV is onto something. We opened the Amazon, opened the messages, and then the customer service chat history. Then everything. From November 16th onwards, once the email has been changed, she reached out to Amazon saying that she didn't receive one of the items. And in of the box there are dangerous items, and in the other one all she received are broken glass pieces instead of products. Later she added a passkey and turned off notifications. That's the reason we didn't get any notification about the future logins and the customer service chats. In this whole case there are no traces of HV at all. Account is my roomie's. I own the place, the address, and the card is of someone else, her so-called cousin. We panicked thinking this could be an identity fraud. We have reached out to our local police and given them all the information that we can. WhatsApp chats where the IDs were shared and discussions regarding the email changes. Amazon customer services chats. Invoice of the order. Reached out to our supervisor at work. I am just sharing this for awareness. We were so kind to her. Once she was sick and we took her to hospital and we invited her to our home to take care of her as she was sick. She used all of our Walmart Plus rewards worth $70. We were mad about it. But somehow my roomie again gave her credentials as she couldn't able to say no. And then she did all of this behind our back. She tried to involve us in this scam. Please be aware and don't share your credentials/personal details with anyone.